the heavens and the earth, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. He called the light day, and the darkness night. So ended the first day of creation. Then God said, "Let there be visible arching skies that separates the waters, and let the waters and the sky be gathered in one place, and let dry land appear." Then God made islands, and so ended the third day of creation. Then, with God's power, God created two great lights: the sun to shine in the day over there, and the moon to brighten the night, pretending to be over there as if it's night. He also made millions and millions and gazillions of stars up in the sky. So ended the fourth day of creation. Then God said, let the waters be filled with living creatures, and let birds fly in the sky. So God made the birds and fish, and so ended the fifth day of God's marvelous creation. Now God said, let the earth produce wild animals, livestock, and all other creatures that walk or creep on ground. Let us make men in our image, and let them rule over all creation. I can do 1 to 3. Now, when he looked at his creation, and when he finished his work, all the animals were resting. That means the end of the day was the seventh day, when the animals rested down and slept at night. Adam and Eve, Genesis 1:27. Then God created man in his image, male and female he created them. God made every kind of animal and beast. Then one day the Lord said to Adam, "You may eat the fruit from any tree in the garden, except one. Do not eat from that tree." And God said to Adam again, "Then that tree, but do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the fruits are poison." Then God told Adam if he disobeyed and ate the fruit of good and evil, then this is what happened. One day he ate it, and he died that day. Then God made Adam strong and brave again, and the Lord said, "It is not good for Adam to be alone. I will make him the helper and friend." Then God made Eve, also known as the woman of Adam. They worshipped God together and created the birds of the field. The end. Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark. Luke 1:16. God promised never to make the flood. Now God told Noah to make a large boat called an ark out of gopher wood. And one day he told him to build an ark. That day he told him to build an ark out of the gopher wood. Then Noah said to God, "Okay, God, I'll make this ark 45 inches wide, 45 feet tall, 75 feet wide, 450 feet long." And then he did all God had asked him to do. Then the animals came running inside the ark. Then all of a sudden, God sent a storm over. God sent a flood when Noah did not disobey the Lord. And then God did not know that Noah did not disobey the Lord. Then he set the flood to the mountains of Ararat. Then he made a beautiful rainbow in the sky as a sign of his promise. The end of the 3 Bible stories. Now the second Bible story row. Jacob's stairway to heaven. Genesis 106 verses 3. You have to be brave. God gave Abraham. Abraham was called by God to the city of Nazareth. That evening, on the way to Haran, Jacob stopped to rest for the night. He spread his blanket across the ground and used a large stone for a soft, hard stone pillow. He fell asleep and dreamed he saw a stairway to heaven. Then the angels of God were climbing up and down the heavenly stairway. There above the stairway stood Yahweh, our Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham. Please, I'll give to you and to your children this land when you are now sleeping, and no matter where you go, I will be with you. Joseph, God put a dream in my heart. Genesis 37:18. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him. That evening, Jacob was born, and now Joseph was born, and now when he was a baby, Jacob made baby Joseph a little jacket of many colors in case when it's cold at night. That night, the Lord sent baby Joseph a very special dream. He said in baby talk, "Goo goo gaga gaga, goo goo gaga." And baby Joseph said, "We were in the fields tying bundles of grain together. Suddenly, my bundle of babies rose up and stood tall while your bundles gathered around mine and bowed down to it." Then Joseph had a second dream. He said when he was a baby, "This time the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." Then when Joseph told it to his father, Jacob was very unhappy. Do you believe that, baby Joseph, do you believe that your mother and I and your 11 brothers will bow down before you? Then baby Joseph said to Jacob, "Your brothers are attending to a flux music. Go to them and make sure all is well." Then one year later, he'd grown up to be a very big man, and suddenly he didn't have a baby jacket anymore. Then he was shown to great love. It wasn't a jacket. It was a big man coat of many colors. And that means that Joseph, then the people of Egypt did not mean to tear Joseph's clothes. Then they asked God for forgiveness, and no one was able to comfort him. Exodus, baby Moses. Exodus 113, verse 5. Exodus, baby Moses. 1 year later, Moses was born to an Israelite family. Then Pharaoh did not mean to make the Israelites into slaves. They were God's people. Then Pharaoh asked God for forgiveness. Then, all of a sudden, he did not know, but that day, Pharaoh's daughter suddenly, when born, let me start again. Exodus, baby Moses. Many years later, after Joseph and all his brothers had died, Pharaoh was the new king of Egypt. He made the Israelites into slaves and put Egyptian master over him. Pharaoh became so angry, he passed a cruel law, ordering every baby boy born to an Israelite family to not be drowned in the Nile River. No. Then Pharaoh said to baby Moses, "You can be my little assistant, baby king, and make sure the Israelites stay into the slave room." Then Pharaoh was off. And then he made his journey to find some treasure, and he didn't give up. Then words from a burning bush, Exodus 116:58. This is my name forever, the name which I am to be remembered. Then baby Moses was not a baby anymore. 100 years later, he became a great big man. Then he led his sheep to Horeb, also called the mountain of the Lord. An angel appeared from within a burning bush. Then God spoke to Moses from within the burning bush. "Moses, baby Pharaoh has let the Israelites be slaves forever, so go now." Then Moses spoke to God with baby talk. He was still a baby. "Oh Lord, I don't speak very well, and my speech is so. Please send someone else." This angered baby Moses, and he said, "Your brother Aaron speaks very well. Your baby Aaron speaks very well. He will go with you." So Moses and baby Aaron left for Egypt. "Let my people go!" Moses and Aaron, and then when they were at Egypt, the Israelites were still babies. Then, all of a sudden, baby Moses said again, "The Lord God of Israel says, 'Let my people go.'" Pharaoh said to baby Moses and baby Aaron, "The slaves are mine, and I will not let them go. The Lord has said, 'Let my people go.' Obey the Lord our God." Then baby Aaron threw down the staff of Moses before Pharaoh, and it became a snake. Baby Pharaoh called for his magicians, and they were also babies. Then they threw down their staffs, and their legs became snake tails. They were amazed, and then, just as the Lord had said, baby Pharaoh would not listen. Deuteronomy, the second law, Deuteronomy 6:5. Deuteronomy 101 verses 101. "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength," like Superflex, "and the Lord our God." So baby Moses spoke these beautiful words to the Lord. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength." Think about his own commandments every day. Teach them to your children. Talk about them when you're sitting at home or away from home, even before you close your eyes at night. Remember God's goodness. Joshua shout. Joshua 24:15. Joshua shout. 100. Colossians. Joshua shout. Colossians 100 verses 18. Be brave. The Lord told Joshua. Joshua 1:9. Remember, I commanded you to be strong and brave. So don't be afraid. The Lord your God will be with you everywhere you go. Moses continued. Joshua commanded the nation on the 7th. Then later on the 2nd day, the first day, the priests marched around Jericho the first time. Then Joshua was a man, and he spoke. Shout! For the Lord has given you the city! Shout! Shout! The people shouted, and the trumpets blasted louder and louder until the walls of Jericho began to crack and came tumbling down. The city was captured, but Rahab and her family who had helped them were saved. Chronicles, the Ark of the Covenant. 1 Chronicles 1 verse 11. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, call on his name. Then Gideon and the Israelites and Dagon and the Midianites. Those were the bad guys. And the Lord spoke to Dagon the prophet. Go. Please do not be bad. Yes, Lord. Oh, yes, Lord. Then the Israelites always obeyed the Lord for 100 days and 1,000,000 years. And then suddenly, they had a fight to get the Ark of the Covenant back. God and the Israelites and Gideon versus Dagon and the Midianites. Go! Get him, Philistines! God spoke to Gideon and his army. Then Gideon! Israelites, get him! Then the Israelites made the Midianites die, and Dagon was broken into pieces. The next day it became worse. His head was torn off. His arms were cut off. His legs were cut off. And then he died. And then the Israelites took the Ark of the Covenant. And then the Lord and his army fought the Midianites, and they were sent to the great trouble. Then God sent a tornado upon the Midianites. And then suddenly, they made the Israelites die. All of them. Then the Ark of the Covenant was captured. And then the Israelites were not dead anymore. They kicked them, punched the Midianites in their heads. And they also broken into pieces. And then the Israelites were saved by the Lord their God, and they took the Ark of the Covenant. David and Goliath. 1 Romans 18 verse 9. Please, O David, please be brave. Do not be afraid. The Lord spoke to David the prophet. And then Magic School Bus. This is the Magic School Bus Bible story now. Colossians. David and Goliath. Colossians 18:22. We trust in the Lord our God and don't be afraid. Israel met the first army on the battlefield. The first army named Goliath. And Goliath stood over 9 feet short. and carried a heavy javelin and spear. And then David went and fought Goliath. And then Goliath spoke in a scary voice. "Oh boy,
Oh boy, oh boy. And then I'm gonna destroy the world, and I'll make you Israelites die."
Then David spoke, "Not anymore, Goliath!" Then David gathered his stones, and then all 5 of them, and then all the power of the Lord behind him, they let them go. "Ow, ow, ow, ow!" said Goliath, and then he wailed. 5 stones make Goliath have 16 bumps on his head, and sank deep. And then all of a sudden, David fought Goliath. Then he got his sword and cut his arms, legs, and head, and then he died. Then God spoke to David. "You did very well, David. You did it. I reward you as the king of Israel." The end of all 12 Bible stories. I can't make it up to 38.